Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metys Remote Job Fair. I am Carolina from Landing.Jobs, and I'm a business developer for the Portuguese market. Please feel free to ask all of your questions, and they will be addressed at the end of this session. There is a dedicated space for questions at the bottom of the screen. Also, don't forget to check the open positions by clicking the blue button and to apply at Landing.Jobs. I will now give the stage to Ricardo Teixeira, who is the principal at Metys. Ricardo, thank you very much for being here today, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ricardo. I'm from Porto, and I'm here to speak to you about Metys, about myself a little bit, and about the work that we do, with the hopes of enticing you to join our incredible journey here in Metys in Portugal. So about myself, my background is in computer engineering. When I finished college, I was one of those crazy guys that started a startup with a couple of friends from college. We were able to gather some funding, and the startup was running for about 5 years. And 2 years ago, more or less, Metys acquired that startup. And since then, I've been part of the Portuguese team, and I've been in charge of growing the team and the business out of Portugal. I still get some questions around why I sold the startup and why I did not continue to pursue my own path. And to be honest, the answer, even with my family and friends, it's always the same. I feel really that I still work at the startup, but now I have clients and money, which is something that in the startup world is not always the case. Furthermore, the ambition is still here. So the ambition to grow, to feel that I have an impact on the company, and the everyday life that we have here. Of course, COVID does not help, because in our company everyone likes to go to the office, although it's not mandatory. But the everyday life changed a bit. But it's still a startup mode, a venture-led team that does everything to execute the projects with the utmost excellence. But well, enough about myself. A bit about Metys. So Metys is a global firm. The headquarters is in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. We are about 450 people worldwide, and there are 4 different main categories of employees or work that we develop. The first one is around strategy. So we have people with backgrounds on business and econometrics that write business cases and work alongside our partners to execute different solutions or ambitions. We have also a very big team around big data and analytics, with data engineering, data science, and also data visualization skills and competences. We also have a software or product team with software and hardware, front end, back end, hardware in the sense of developing sensors and IoT driven solutions. And last but not least, we have our creative side, our design team, that has grown actually in the last year quite significantly, and has a big impact in the company, because it brings the creativity towards all of us that are engineers and sometimes are very strict with our thinking. If you look through our website, you will see that we have offices throughout Europe, in a lot of countries, Portugal being one of those, of course. But we have grown already outside of Europe, especially to the Middle East. So in Dubai, we have an office. We also have an office in India. And soon enough, we will be expanding to other geographies, namely in Asia with, I believe, Japan, and also in the Americas, in North America and Mexico. There are some initial studies to be there. So it's a very fast-growing company. There are a lot of opportunities. And I believe we are at the brink of people that are joining now the firm really feel excited about the impact that they can have on this growth, and also reflect that on their professional journey. At Metys, we have 2 main drivers for the work that we do. First of all, we believe in partnerships. So if you look through our website, you will read a lot about this word, partners or partnerships. And To explain this, I can tell you that although we are 450, our client list is very small. It's below 20. And the reason is that we are not one of a run-of-the-mill digital consultant. We are a company that works alongside big brands that all of us know, like Carlsberg, but also Hugo Boss, Tommy Hilfiger, Pep Jeans, so brands that all of us are aware of, and brands that trust Metys to develop their digital solutions with the best teams and the best tech talent that we have available. The second thing that we believe a lot in Metys is impact. So we take on the hardest challenge and we do it end to end. When we partner up with our customers, with our partners, we do the project end to end, no matter what it takes. And this is, I think, what has contributed the most to the growth of our firm. For instance, the work that I'm about to introduce you, and I'm sure you all wonder what this is behind me. It's one of our main partners. It's Carlsberg, and with Carlsberg we literally work as if we were a startup within Carlsberg, which is, well, you might guess it's a global firm, one of the top 3 breweries in the world. So to get to that point, what are the kind of projects that we develop? Well, as I've said, in Portugal, we have 4 big categories of work. So strategy, data analytics, product with software and hardware, and design. In Portugal, we are mainly focused on developing our technology teams. So the last 3 ones, so design also being not only technology, but creative, it's something that we developed in Portugal. But furthermore, or especially, we are growing very fast our teams around data science and data engineering, and also our teams around software development in different types of technology, be it on e-commerce, but also product in terms of app development, and also cloud solutions for all kinds of purposes. One of the clients that we have and with whom we work the most out of Portugal is indeed Carlsberg. And just to give you a flavor of the kind of disruptive work that we do, I'm going to speak a little about what you see here. So with Carlsberg, and this is actually something that started when I was in a startup, so it's particularly dear to me and close to my heart. With Carlsberg, we are basically revolutionizing the draft beer for them. What we develop with them is a sensor solution, so comes the hardware part, that monitors beer consumption in real time. So pretty much Carlsberg installs hardware in the restaurants and bars and nightclubs so that every time someone opens a tap, they know how much beer goes into that glass and which beer is that, which time was the beer poured. And as you can imagine, this creates a lot of data, and that data needs to be processed. It needs to be represented and showed to the right people to improve the business. And it's a big revolution in draft beer, and we are really proud to contribute to that out of Porto, our main office in Portugal. And even the hardware is made in Portugal, which is something that is an extra layer of proudness that we can input to the business. Furthermore, we are continuously innovating with Carlsberg, and I can give you a sneak peek on our latest innovation, which are these 3 things that you see here that pretty much are changing the old way that you'd see, the brands represented on the tap with a normal logo. We are replacing that with a digital screen that is connected to our sensor solution, so that in the back, which I cannot turn them, but in the back you will see another screen showing how much beer you have left, and other notifications for gamification and so on. And last but not least, just tell you a little bit about what teams we have in Portugal. So our main office is in Porto, indeed, but also we have teams in Lisbon and Faro in the Algarve. So those guys, they work less, they get more sun. And we welcome you to our website to get an introduction to the kind of opportunities we have available, and I really invite you to do that. I mean, I'm open for questions in a few moments, but I really wanted to say that this has been a great trip so far, and I think, as I just commented a few minutes ago, that we are at the right moment for you to join us and make an impact, bring all your knowledge, and make an impact on our processes, and collaborate to this startup-like environment that really is shaping to something to be considered as a big technology firm. Again, when you classify us, or when we classify ourselves, we believe that we are in the right position in between a digital consultant and a software house. So we want to have software house best practices around or across our different departments, but we have the agility and the opportunities for people that join us to work in different fields, such as e-commerce with Tommy Hilfiger, but next year they can work for Carlsberg in a project like this that I was explaining. So I'm open for questions. Feel free to ask them. I also have Anna, Nuria, and Enrique from the team here to deep dive on some of those. And while you organize the questions, I will pour myself a little beer because talking gets me thirsty. Cheers. So let me see if I read some questions. All right, so a couple questions. First of all, someone asking, they don't have a degree, are they able to join the company? Absolutely. So we have, an interview process, but we don't require at all a computer degree. I mean, as long as you can do the work, that is all fine with us, regardless of the background. And this is for, this is Ali Hamad. React.js, it's indeed one of the technologies we use. So I invite you to send over your CV and we will we'll review it. Our view on remote working. So we are completely remote friendly. I believe that this COVID experience showed us that it's obviously possible and doable. We were already remote friendly before COVID. What I also believe is that the office experience is still very much appreciated for whenever we have to do some creative sessions. So, regardless of your background, design or back-end engineering, there's always a moment where you have to have creativity and a whiteboard. And for that, there's nothing like being in the same office together. Can I talk a little bit more about the jobs we have at Metys? Well, without a specific background, but we have different challenges for you. Again, data science, we are looking for data scientists, data engineers. Those people would be joining our team for being inputted into challenges where they have to process large amounts of data for customers that have challenges of running websites that get accessed by millions of people every minute, like Google Boss or Tommy Hilfiger. We also have challenges for front-end engineers, back-end engineers, DevOps, QA engineers. So again, those options or those positions will be disclaimed on our website and here on the blue button if you follow that. I invite you to do so. Business intelligence, yes, it's also part of our portfolio of skills that we explore. This project is something different, but we have, even with Carlsberg, projects that are more towards business intelligence, so defining their data warehouse, data pipelines, structuring data. So it's also something to take on board. And again, send us your CV, your application, and I'm sure there will be opportunities for you. All right, I don't see any other questions. Oh, sorry, I need to scroll. Okay, how is data science applied to different projects? More descriptive or predictive? Both, actually. It depends on the kind of project we do, but it's both. So we have projects that are around, for instance, churn prediction. Again, example with Carlsberg, we have modeled a system that predicts the likelihood of a customer churning Carlsberg to Heineken, for instance. And that's a predictive analysis. And there are other analyses. Okay, some other questions around people not from Portugal. For that, we have different offices around the world. It's not mandatory for you to be physically in Portugal. Again, it is advised, or it's something that we take into consideration at least. But depending on where you are, there might be opportunities closer to you in other offices that we have around Europe. We also have opportunities for internships, for sure. So if you identified yourself with any of these areas that I mentioned, well, then you're welcome to proceed and comment that on an email or something. If not, but you have an idea on some of the topics that you like to explore yourself, please, again, send us your suggestion on what you would like to do. So, all right. Do you have any tips for recent computer science graduates when entering the job market? Well, my personal view on that is please consider everything that you learn during your course something that teaches you how to learn, and not something that you've learned and you're going to directly apply it. Because in our field, things change so much from year to year that you need to consider that you are a platform to improve constantly. And computer science is a very broad area, so try to explore what you like to do. I think we are fortunate enough to be very wanted right now, so I'm sure there's opportunities to explore that thing that you would like to do. It's not required to be in Lisbon. Again, we have offices in Porto and Faro, outside of Lisbon. Okay. Outside Porto and Faro is also fine. Again, we have people working not in those cities, but again, we it's not that we prefer, but you would benefit the most by being close to the office, where we have a lot of fun mostly, and we create bonds with the people that we work with. Okay, can you talk about the experience of working at Metys as a junior? Well, as a junior, you would be assigned with a buddy that would be side by side with you for at least 3 months, and he would pretty much be your go-to person regarding the project you would be assigned to, but also culturally, if you are adapting to the company and just an overall person that is there to help you. Of course, We also have our HR team that is always supportive and welcoming any question. Which tools for data science are used? Python, yes. Well, it's one of the. We are a bit tool agnostic, so as long as you know how to do things, we don't believe that people are tagged with languages. How to apply to an internship? For that, I would recommend you to send us an email through our website. You would see our general email and propose us what you would like to work on, and we can analyze. Okay, I don't think we have more questions. Carolina?
Hello, Ricardo. Actually, I think you have a bit of more questions in the Ask a Question section.
Okay.
You haven't answered all of them. For example, I asked one regarding company culture. You also have one from Pedro Catalão, from Renata Monteiro, José Salvador, Paulo Matos Silva, and another one from Renata. Can you see them?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Okay, from Renata, what kind of skills beyond the tech ones do you pay the most attention? So, given my background, which is entrepreneurship, I have never worked in other companies other than my own one and now Metys. I really believe in people that are entrepreneurs, and for that, it doesn't mean that you have to create your own company, but just the thinking that regardless of you coming in for an internship or a very senior position, the focus on having impact. There you go again. It's one of the main core values of our company. The drive for you to create impact is very much appreciated. So, and it can be in small things like let's set up a meeting or a monthly meeting to discuss this topic because we think we like this in the culture of the company, from other things more strategic like let's use this framework instead of that one because it's more efficient and I've done it in the past. We really appreciate people who are eager to implement different things for the sake of the common good. So from Paulo Matos Silva, what's the plan regarding remote work? Do we have to be physically in Portugal? Again, no, so it's not mandatory. We'll not be excluding you from any interviews. It will be, of course, taken into consideration because we are doing a significant investment in Portugal, and although we are adopting all the remote, right now I'm alone at the office. We adopt all the tools to support remote work. We still believe that working in the office brings a lot of advantages, and we pride ourselves for the kind of culture it produces amongst each other. I don't know if it's going to be like that forever, but pretty much everyone that joins the company, and in Portugal we are now about 60 people, it's their friend relationship or friendship relationships that get established pretty quickly. And I think it's a relaxed environment that makes also the success of our teams, and people enjoy working here. So from José Salvador, any chances for internships to see if the company and the candidate match well? Yes, I think I answered that already. Well, open for you sending up your profile and we would review it. From Renata Monteiro, how do you think tech companies evaluate CVs? Is the classic model still the most appreciated one, or creative ones get more attention? Is ATS a big thing in recruitment? Well, I think Anna is here. She's our HR manager. She would probably answer you better. From my point of view, I think, well, the model where you send a CV and we have a stack of CVs and we review that, it's not really what we do. I think depending on the position as well, there are different ways to scout people. Again, as I've said, we don't require any college degree. There's an interview process that, in and of itself, validates if you have the knowledge, the practical knowledge to apply for that certain position, and that's good enough for it. From Carolina, regarding company culture, what are the core values? How is it working at Metys in terms of environment? So it's a very relaxed and informal environment. We don't have a very strict hierarchy, and especially in Portugal. So I'm the most senior people, and I already have some white hairs, but I feel like I'm still young. And it also shows, I think, or reflects the kind of culture and environment we have. People typically understand that working at Metys means that you are accountable, but also responsible for what you do. So we have very little strict guidelines on, for instance, if you are a software developer, on what kind of tools you have to do or processes that we have to follow. There are some processes around establishing best practices, but a lot of things are left open, and it's up to everyone's responsibility and ownership to take that into their own hands. Okay, from Pedro Catalão. Do you have any tips for recent graduates entering the job market? I believe I answered this one, so just continue to learn and pursue what you like to do. I think we are lucky to be one of the few areas of work where there's a lot of work to be done, and you don't have to bound yourself in any shape or form. Any opportunities for R&D? Yes, we do that actually internally already. We have our R&D department. I don't know if you are an academic or not, but if you mean doing your PhD with us, it's something to be considered, and it could be on the table. In terms of career development, which paths do we have in your company? Okay, so we are not establishing a very complex path of career in the company. There's two main messages that we like to input into when we display our career path. One is that you are not going to be, whether you want to be more on the people management side or more on the technical development side, there is no penalty for choosing either. And secondly, there's a plan there's a path that you can choose depending on your own interests and professional development. So we are not going to impose you with something that you don't like, as long as, of course, there's a fit with the overall company strategy. So Pedro Viegas says that I have proficiency in SAS Minor and Python. Self-learning skills, should I apply? Well, I invite you to do so. Again, I cannot promise you that you would get a job, but we give a fair chance to everyone that wants to join our team. Okay, Renata, can you please share some infos about the interview process in tech companies? Does it always include a practical challenge? There's always some level of technical assessment. It can be in the form of a challenge or in the form of live commenting on screen with some coding. Depends a lot on the position. So if you are a front-end developer or a data scientist, but yes, there's always a need to at least validate some of the basics and kind of the level that you're applying to, if it matches the criteria. Paulo Pedreira, what is the main organizational culture on Metys? Is it a very aligned sort of company where leaders say
what to do and how to do it, or is it a more autonomous culture where leaders define what to be done, but teams find out how to be done?
Definitely the second one. Again, we give a lot of responsibility to our people, and the path to where towards they can grow is mostly dependent on themselves. So I think that answers it already.
Palmat Silva, but the same can happen while working remotely. Why you say about working in companies Portugal or about the team relation? Sorry, Paulo, I don't understand your question. So next one.
Yeah, sorry, Ricardo. I think this one is related to the being near the office or not. So you're saying that that's actually kind of important to us, right? To be near the office while still working remotely.
It is important to us because we believe that, again, the culture comes from the personal relationships that get established when being on site. It's not that you have to be on site every day or every week, but if you are far apart from for any of our offices, you should expect that you would be invited to some events where, even though it's not mandatory, I personally feel that you would be missing out on that experience that is growing in Metys.
Okay, Leonardo, quick question. I'm a backend developer, but I'm here in Asia, in Philippines. Do I still have a chance to work remotely in the company?
Well, Leonardo, to be very honest, I think we need to check your time zones and if it is aligned with what the type of work or team that you would work with. The fair answer would be perhaps not right now, but as I've said in the beginning, we are growing in many geographies, and perhaps opportunities for you would come very soon.
So, Carolina, what is the one thing that makes Metys different from other companies?
Well, for one, we have free beer and unlimited free beer. But in a more serious term, I think Metys it is exploring very well the gray zone between a consultant, a outsourcing company where you are placed in different projects every 3 months or 6 months, and a software house. Because on the one hand, we have different opportunities in different areas, but those opportunities come in a long-term relationship, in a long-term partnership where you don't feel like you are an outsider from the team that belongs or that is linked to a brand which is our partner. So the team that works with Carlsberg, they have Carlsberg emails. They feel like they are Carlsberg. They have Carlsberg benefits. We get Christmas beer on Christmas. So it's a combination of having those different opportunities, but working in a product that has a beginning, an end, and support, refactoring. It's a software house in that sense.
So, Ricardo Mendes, do you usually follow test-driven methodology in developing new projects?
Well, yes, it depends on the project. Well, if there's a POC, we need to prove. Perhaps we do some scratch or some boilerplates, skipping some of those steps. If it's something to be, for instance, to work with Tommy Hilfiger, where we are impacting the customer website, then of course we need to follow more strict guidelines. It depends on the kind of project
we implement. Pedro Viega, is agile the development methodology?
Yes, we are definitely an agile company. We have our very own, and it's still growing, the methodology that we don't like to be bounded by Scrum or Kanban. We have something that we feel works and pleases, and it contributes to the progress of the projects that we work on. And well, in the broader term, yes, we're agile because we respond quickly. We have short deliveries, and we can adapt if changes occur along the way. Okay, I think that's all, Carolina, right?
Yes, you just have one from John in the chat. I don't know if you have the time. I think so.
Which companies are most common with Metys in Portugal? Any industries Metys wishes to target for the future? So although we have a team in Portugal and we are growing in Portugal, we are exporting 100% of our work, meaning that we only work with international clients. In the future, where do we, or let me do that or answer it in another way. COVID, in its way, found us a track to grow. So we are growing a lot in the e-commerce, which, well, it's self-explanatory why did so. But in the future, we would like to continue to grow in the IoT sector, where we have proven track record and a team that is capable with all the partners that we have. And we want to continue to grow in our data science or the overall data department, changing way companies make decisions by making those decisions based on data. And there's another one. Okay, Paulo. Do Metys require all applicants to know a programming language? For example, I work on some software projects in the past, but I don't know how to code myself and acted mostly as a facilitator between developers and designers and stakeholders.
So, Paulo, you are probably a project manager or product owner, and if you are so, or a Scrum Master, if you are so, then of course there's opportunities for you, and please apply to those. We will be glad to get your application. Okay, I think that's clear inbox.
Yes.
All
You
right.
had a lot of questions. It was great.
Cheers.
So, guys, if you have any more questions, please ask them now because we are reaching the end of our remote job fair. So, first of all, thank you, Ricardo, for being here. And guys, don't forget to apply to Metys jobs on Landing.Jobs. You just need to click the blue button. And see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.